TNC's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Monkey
Reserve
King.
time. TNC's turn to pick.
Earth Spirit.
TNC's turn to pick.
Lena.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
I speak for the trees.
TNC's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. TNC's turn to ban.
Yeah.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. TNC's turn to pick.
Also how TNC respond to it, because they've also changed up their draft a little bit. This time around, it's the Earth Spirit and the Lena getting taken. Now, this could still be a position 5 or 4 Lena with an Earth Spirit as the other supporting, but more than likely it's going to be Cuckoo playing it, and that does mean that we're departing from what we saw previously of the 3, 4, and 5 taken, saving their core picks for later. Do you think that this was mainly just in response to like the Monkey King first pick, or now with the Rubik taken, we do know indeed it's going to be a core Lena? What is your thought about them changing this up this much?
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Oracle.
TNC's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Sand King.
Radiant team pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Faceless Void.
TNC's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban.
Taking hero, but all in all, it's definitely a clunky draft from Thunderbirds. It feels like they have something up their sleeve, though, that they're prepping this for. It is
Here
gonna
is going to be the Death Prophet, which you mentioned is particularly strong with the Oracle, and it mostly comes down to the fact that she has so many self-healing mechanics, whether the Spirit Siphon going continuously or when the Exorcism returns to her. She's just going to be in a really great spot as far as surviving the fight and continuing the push. And she's actually one of the few heroes that I would say is better with Oracle than with Dazzle. So I definitely think that's going to be a solid pickup. Going to be played by Weeha on the mid lane, and they're going to build around it pretty well, I think. I would say that it's got to be a Void safe lane here. I'm looking at the records, and just Resolution hasn't played Nature Prophet competitively in 9 months, and just in general. But you're seeing a lot of early push potential. You got a little bit of good team fight from Void, which was something they were lacking. You mentioned the lack of stunts in particular, but they've got push, they've got control, they've got survivability. I feel like this is actually a winning combination for Thunderbirds. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, nothing in particular. All the heroes that you want are going to be pretty equally palpable. You're going to be wanting to get some early push, some early tempo rather, and maybe some wave clear, but few heroes have that. Legion Commander is one of them, but also doesn't necessarily work well against Oracle. So I would have to say that probably they're just going to go for whatever Raven's comfortable with. The Terrorblade is still fine. But they go for the Naga Siren. Mhm. Yeah. So the Naga Siren, I don't think is a hero pickup that they really wanted to be running in this position, but they feel like they have to. This is well, I got to see it a lot at TI6, but the idea is the Void Chrono comes out and immediately you song the Siren. That's just on the Void. And most of the other damage output, maybe Exorcism or the Monkey King's ultimate is still running, but like these are things that you can kind of survive through just long enough to disengage as the Chrono ends. So it's just attempting to counterplay against this Void. Obviously, then Void will try to focus the Chronos on the Naga as much as possible. But yeah, it's gonna create a weird dynamic, I think. I don't know if TNC are fully comfortable with where they're at right now.
Oh, we're getting ready to hop into this game number 3, TNC versus Thunderbirds. The winner is going to move on into one of those coveted 2-0 starts to the Swiss group stage, and just at the start of it. Thoughts on the way that these games sort of has to play out? It's still a scary situation going against the Nature's Prophet in the late game because of that high mobility that he has, but it feels like with the Naga Siren, it might still be okay for TNC. They're probably still going to be in a decent position, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely can. If they can hold off, get to the Radiance, be able to clear out waves, not have to deal with the Nature's Prophet split pressure as much anymore. I think there are a lot of factors that go into this. I think the biggest aspect is just going to be clearing out the waves. They've got things like Dragon Slave, Fade Bolt, some Caustic action. All these can clear out waves pretty quickly. But it's actually going to be a smoke to start us off. That should be first blood.
Weehaw going to be caught a little bit deep here as he is inside his own jungle, and Cuckoo picks up that first blood.
Yeah, very nice movement there. That's going to be another attempt for some Bounty Ruin snatches. We'll see if it works out for them. Right now, we are going to be seeing Raven posting up on his own top Bounty Ruin. And it's actually going to be the rest of TNC backing off as they see potential for too much conflict. So, good control overall. They even see a little bit of movement here from the Oracle, interestingly enough. And looks like the Void and Oracle are going to try to combo it up with the Monkey King to try to go for a kill.
Yeah, Sam H already has a little bit of trouble here as the Jingu Mastery is forcing him back, and with that Orb of Venom, he had to back out. So it does look like they're going to be able to trade off Bounty Runes at least a little bit, and Weehaw gained an even worse start than he normally would after the death because he also doesn't get the Bounty Rune.
Yeah, so kind of caught at cross positions here. It's going to be a very interesting start to this game. Obviously, First Blood still favoring TNC to start us off. But yeah, we'll have to keep a lot of attention on the mid lane here and see if this Earth Spirit can make an impact. Because you'll notice the wards that they were looking to place out, they really didn't get any. They got the one up here by the Roche Pit. So that's going to be the key for whether the Earth Spirit can actually make a move that catches the Death Prophet off guard.
Yeah, seems unlikely with obviously that one in the area, at least skying him out slightly. And now the Treant's also coming in to punch Tims in the face. Never what you want to have as an Earth Spirit. But what about this matchup of Moon versus Raven? The Nature's Prophet has traditionally been known as a very strong laning hero because of what Treants are capable of doing in the early stages. Is that the same case against Raven, who naturally has pretty high armor?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of poking and prodding. You can synchronize their attacks for easy CS. You're often putting them on the support more than the enemy carry. So as long as, yeah, the Foreman shield's out on Raven already, it shouldn't really be too much heavy harassment against him. And yeah, in the end, it's mostly just going to be what Moon uses to scout to try to prevent Earth Spirit from closing in on him, which he can't see right now, but he should have a pretty clear idea of.
Yeah. And Rior, in the meantime, trying to get the pull off as well. He was able to sneak away a couple of those creeps, but at the end of the day, the roll in onto Moon. Tim's not going to be able to find anything.
So I think it's going to be a pretty quiet laning phase to start things off here. I mean, we'll see a little bit back and forth here between Misery and Sam H, but looks like both offliners are going to be kind of caught where they're only getting experience, and he's going to maybe try to do a little bit of creequilibrium manipulation with the Treants, but for the most part, most eyes are going to be on mid here, where Weehaw and Cuckoo continue to duel it out.
And speaking of that duel, 9 and 5 right now for Cuckoo versus the 6 and 2 of the Weeha Death Prophet. And this matchup, kind of another one of those spamming out your abilities constantly and just trying to get whatever you can.
This could be a kill. He's just fighting it out against a double damage rune and just dies straight up. He gets like 3 or 4 auto attacks on him and just drops like a rock, completely underestimating Sand King.
That was so underestimated, I didn't even know where to look for it. That was the worst T-Tours ever.
It's just boot Sand King poking and prodding, pincering away. Now looking for the roll in and this and that, but considering the dive anyways.
All right, well, 2-0 start. TNC off to a good one. But again, Moon down here in the top lane. He's being pressured a little bit. They're going to be able to pull him back in and actually taking a lot of harassment. They might even think about diving him here. Can they find the kill? Raven so deep for it, and Moon is going to fall. Raven able to find that kill, and then after the fact, guess what? He's got the salve as well to heal up a little bit. The Treants are going to disable that, so Raven taking a bit more damage.
Yeah, for sure. But in the meantime, more back and forth between Misery and Sam H. Forces the Shrine out. Like, just more double damage hits, and Misery has to Shrine.
Oh, Mayno over the side here. They almost were able to take down Cuckoo, but it didn't quite end up happening. Yeah, end up backing out.
Yeah, so continues to battle it back and forth here. Death Prophet still floating only at level 3 here. Lena's got a slight experience advantage, and it just needs to keep on clearing out the waves. I think that's the biggest deal here, is just continuing to keep that push out with the Dragon Slave and making it so that Earth Spirit continues to have some good opportunities. I'm sure he knows by now that there's a ward covering the top approach from towards the mid lane, but maybe he'll make a smoke play and try to find an opening that way.
Yeah. In the meantime, Sam H dealing with a safe lane that's quite strong from T-Birds. Resolution's been able to have a pretty free lane to himself. 24 and 8 on the CS so far, leading out everybody. And you look at the CS across the board, it's kind of been the story of the game is that T-Birds have had the better of it, and it's tended to be TNC that find the kills that allow them to catch back up after that in the laning phase. So we'll see if they can make that happen as the smoke move does come. Looks like Misery not going to break it yet, and they're going to head bottom instead.
Yeah, very close call there. Almost breaking the smoke, but instead it looks like they'll find a pretty easy kill on the Void here. I mean, he's got Time Walk to reset things, but they've got like 3 spells that can control him. Rior, though, backing the other way, trying to find where this Oracle is.
Yeah, they want to go for that easier kill. They know how hard it is to take down Monkey King. And Cuckoo, in the meantime, in the mid, he's going to get jumped upon. The rotation in from Moonmeander, they break through the trees, trying to make it work, but it's not going to happen. And they end up losing Cuckoo in the mid. That is the power of the Nature's Prophet.
That was such a sick Nature's call. Right when the Light Strike Array was trying to break the tree from the Sprout, he's able to turn them into treants, which, while they're stunned, they're still very much there, and is able to make it a very clean kill onto Cuckoo. And they need kills to get back to this game for sure. Like, they're all about momentum. They're going to be able to take towers, that's a given, but if they can't start taking kills, we're going to see TNC get too much in terms of experience, in terms of key fighting items, and they'll just break down that death ball.
And in the meantime, you do also have this constant movement in where Sam H can't feel quite comfortable yet. He needs to get a bit more farm on him right now. Level 3 in comparison to the level 6 of the Nature's Prophet. And it's just because of how strong of a laning hero this Nature's Prophet can be. And, likewise, the Earth Spirit who wanted to roam around and find things early on, he had to come back there and wasn't really able to do too much as far as shutting down the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, Tim's has had a very quiet game so far, which is not the intention of this pickup. And Rubik is also pretty under-leveled here. Just look at experience per minute in general. Like, Misery is the only one that's behind those 2 heroes.
Sam H. Burrow Strike has already been used. He's so low there. They popped the Chronosphere as well. Yeah, that's a hell of a lot of hate thrown his way. Resolution will back up and salve. And that is a kill that they definitely wanted. In the meantime, they weren't quite able to take down Moonmeander in the off lane as he just TPs away.
Yep, and then TP's right back. The idea, he'll use his TP scroll out and his spell to get back in, and they'll decide if they want to go for the tower or the defense. But it looks like he's now down on bottom lane, offensive position. No Wrath of Nature, but if they get the right spells out, they should still be able to get the pickup on Sam H.
I mean, this is so frustrating. You've got trees on trees, and then the Monkey King hanging out in the trees is chasing down the Sand King. This is a painful little combination. The stun comes through. They actually connect onto Misery, and now they're going to be able to punish him. take
when
that
you bring
kill.
that many in, it's gonna work out in your favor nicely. So, yeah, they committed really hard for that, and they're not really. It definitely goes back to what I was talking about in the draft, where they just want to bring a +1 and just make some really good things happen. But I'm not sure if they're just afraid of the Sand King getting big, or they thought they'd be able to do a lot of tower damage after the fact. But either way, quick response from TNC, preemptive at that, and they're able to get another kill on the board. And Weehouse just gonna go ahead and pop his Exorcism here, and just go to town on these Ancients.
All right. I guess the thought being that you're not going to use it to secure towers early, or could it have been an accidental usage with the bottle there already?
I don't think it was accidental at all,
H?
but I do think Sam H is in some trouble. And
Burrow
while he
striking?
will burrow, he'll get caught in the tree line, and one quick whack will put Resolution ahead in terms of that network.
All right. Well, here we go. The stun going to connect onto the Oracle, and he dies rather rapidly. So, again, the kill's going into the way of TNC, and we're just taking a look at this early stage, continuing to work its way out as Cuckoo farms up his item. Let's have the double null. Do you think that there's any chance that he's going for a Veil build this game with so much magical damage?
So you're talking about the Lina, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely possible. I think that you usually want to go for a couple of other items before that, which is weird because Veil is so cheap. But yeah, I could still definitely see it working for the lineup overall, and we are actually going to see finally a connection here on the Moon that should seal his fate. Rotation coming in from 3 heroes though, and they should be able to get one in return.
Yeah, they're trying to chase down Cuckoo. No way out for him currently, and so he is going to end up falling here. They have vision onto Cuckoo. Does have his TP scroll back off cooldown, so there's some way to juke it out. It would be a play, but all he does is buy the time for the team to get away instead.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure if we mentioned this yet, but the Faceless Void Resolution did pick up a Hand of Midas here, becoming very popular despite the nerf to the experience that it generates. And yeah, he's still going to have a lot of attack speed to work with here, should be able to show the way, and even look for an opportunity here onto Sam H again. They've got the Chrono. They can put some damage in this Chrono, but Sam H just chooses his way through and somehow become a zoning Nature's Prophet.
This guy is getting towards those drums early. Again, speaking to the way that they might want to play this game, which is early pushing down towers. As mid lane, again, they're just holding on pat. Cuckoo comfortable building into his next item. As far as Raven is concerned, he's been left very much alone. Has the Arcane Boots done and now building towards that Relic. Only a little bit behind the Void, who's also been able to pick up that Midas.
Yeah, I think that overall, Thunderbirds might be a little bit happier with this because they know that it's still going to be quite a while for the Radiance to come through. I mean, yeah, it looks like he's got a lot with 2300, but Radiance is still one of the more expensive items in the game. So I think that Thunderbirds, as long as they start using their ultimates to actually take fights or break towers, then they should be in a pretty good position at this stage of the game with their current net worth.
And look at this dive for the resolution kill. Almost able to get him, but not quite there. That might signal there's a ward in the area, although it is about to expire regardless, so maybe not the biggest deal
So right
in the
on
world.
mid, as soon as they see that opportunity, they just say, okay, well, they've taken a lot of time to move into our jungle, and now we've got a perfect opening on mid without playing for misery.
I mean, Tim's is being revealed right here. You do have the Monkey King in the area, spotting now this out. The Exorcism has come. We are still hanging on for the moment, but it is so hard to fight into this with Chronosphere up and online. It looks like they might just have to let this tower go. We'll see if TNC try and mount a defense. They're in the area to do it. Sam H is here as well. Does have that level 6, but no Exorcism, or rather Epicenter as of yet. So they just watch the tower die.
So pretty clean and efficient, able to use each hero's first ultimate for a little extra income, whether it be kills or ancients, and then immediately thereafter the long cooldowns come back up, and we see them taking towers with it. So expect a little bit of repetition there, but I think a big deal for TNC is they just took a top tier 1 as well. Don't think that was denied, so that is going to be Raven picking up some nice money, and that's, I don't think, something you should be giving away at this stage. I mean, it's very important to commit everything to the death ball, but at the same time, Naga Siren taking a tower by like the 11-minute mark, Raven's got to feel pretty good about that.
Oh yeah. Any tower that you can take at this point, the Naga Siren is just so value, and I mean, they are still a little bit slow maybe into their level 6s. I think the biggest one probably is just Sand King, who's a little bit behind as far as the off lane is concerned, but it's been a tough lane for him overall. So I think that by the time the pressure really starts to mount for the tier 2s, it seems like TNC is going to have the items to fight with. How do you see those fights playing out? And do you think that T-Birds are just under pressure to try and make the map sort of close down around TNC?
I kind of feel like right now they're just focused on towers and let the fight come as it may. As long as there's no Blink Dagger on the Sand King, they probably feel pretty confident in most of these exchanges. Like, you have to kind of like Song of the Siren, walk up Epi Burrow. It's kind of a flimsy way to start things off. So I feel like right now, Thunderbirds, they're just like, okay, let's let the fight come to us. We'll be prepared for it at any stage, at any siege. But anytime they're kind of getting ratted out by the split push from the Naga. So it's just, it's not, it feels like they can't be in enough places at once. And at some point, they just have to kind of force the issue. They have to, this Exorcism is going to come back up. They're just going to walk down mid or at least bottom lane and just try to kind of put more emphasis on the hard push, not just, you know, poke at a tier 1, but actually drop a tier 2 as well, because they don't really have all that much time to work with. I mean, it's not like the lineup's going to fall off by the late game. They have some really solid core heroes, but at the end of the day, this Naga Siren is still going to make things very difficult in terms of actually breaking high ground and ending the game.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like for now, too, Lina just decided to go for the 2 null tally build and then going back into the Bloodstone afterwards, having already finished off that Soul Ring. So more just about trying to dominate the lane and then build into the other items after the fact. Faceless Void, in the meantime, has picked up the first Ring of Health, and I'm assuming is going to be going back for that Lincoln Sphere build, which can be quite effective. Problem that I'm seeing, too, is that it looks like there's a movement down here towards bottom for TNC, and not all their heroes are in the area. We'll see if they do realize that this aggression is coming their way, and if they make a move to try and respond against that, and also maybe if Thunderbirds are able to take down the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're going to be able to dive the Nature's Prophet, so if Moon pushes up, they might think, oh, we've got a nice opportunity, he just teleported down, but they don't know about Misery being in the area, and they probably don't see the smoked up reinforcements. So I actually think that if Moon pushes up as a bait, it could be very effective. And actually, just they get luck out. They find Rubik in the tree line. Don't get the Wrath of Nature hit on him thanks to the sight, but the Boundless Strike will still set up a pretty clean finish.
Tim's trying to save the day, but Purifying Flames is there from the Oracle to find the kill. Now with that Rubik dead, it seems very hard to defend this tier 1 tower. I mean, it was tough even if he was there, honestly.
Yeah, and the Death Prophet's not even going to rotate just yet. They get the tier 1 pretty much for free, it looks like. It's just out of fear of this Chronosphere.
And Raven, he does almost have that Radiance done. You might see TNC willing to give this one up and just hold off until that Radiance is up before they try and mount a defensive of the towers here around the map.
This Radiance time is actually really absurd. Like, I talked about it as an expensive item. Only Alchemist really finds Radiances like by like the 12-13 minute mark, but Raven's almost there. It's actually insane. I got the last two on the tower. He's been farming the jungle really well in the lane. This guy is actually absurd, keeping up with a Midas Faceless Void in terms of net worth. About to grab the bounty rune, and yeah, he's going to be extremely close to the Radiance in just a minute.
That is crazy. And it's been without sacrificing the rest of his team. It's not as if TNC have been falling behind that much in these engagements. They've still been able to make stuff happen just by virtue of how strong each of these other heroes are at this point in time in the game. So Cuckoo, he's finished off his Spell Booster. He's only, a couple, like 100 and bit gold away from finishing off the Bloodstone altogether. And that being said, they are going to go in now with Resolution. So Cuckoo will end up dropping. Did manage to buy his Bloodstone after the fact, so not a whole lot lost.
Yeah, I mean, the Chronosphere is still a pretty big cooldown at this stage in the game. I wouldn't say the Wukong's command is necessarily, with the Monkey King only hitting so hard. But yeah, Lina does buy up the critical item, doesn't lose charges at the same time, so it's actually pretty nice. And we'll be respawning and ready to rumble.
All right. Now, with that D-Ward coming out, Naga Siren going to finish the Radiance at 15 minutes. That's the new mark to yell at people in your pubs if they don't get it by everybody.
Please. Yeah. Let's be friends. Why can't we just be friends? But no. Nice benchmark set by Raven here at this point in time. Able to really quickly transition into anything. He's going to have waves pushed out, which is the most important aspect here, as it does mean now that it's that much harder for Thunderbirds to get to the tower to really start popping cooldowns and committing to a push.
Oh, and they guessed to the wrong direction. Weeha able to make the escape as the smoke comes out from them
They're going to try to
instead.
head him off. This is a really great opportunity for TNC to counterplay. They see the smoke. They have a great read on the overall position of Thunderbirds. Now they just have to find the angle of attack.
All right, yeah, they're passing by, though. Thunderbirds heading down to the south. Do they realize that actually it's Raven that's going to get gone on here? You do have that Sand King in the area looking for the initiation to come out there. The silence there from Weeha. Sam H now in some trouble. Can they get there in time? He's going to die before he gets off anything. The Oracle found the kill, and now Cuckoo turning to fight takes down two. Oh, great play right there. TNC ending up with a hell of a lot of kills, and now Moon maybe in some more trouble. The Oracle isn't going to be able to kill off Rior there. And now this is completely falling apart for Thunderbirds.
Oh, can they get the
Song of the
though?
Siren, they got him. Moon Meander now going to end up falling. Rubik also has stolen Crypt Storm, so a hell of a lot of damage. The lift, the right clicks, the everything, and soon to be the kills.
Wow, that was a great opportunity there from TNC, fully exploited. I thought that they actually made too many errors at the beginning of the fight because the Raven song came out too late to save the Sand King, but it didn't matter because they had the high ground, and at that point it was over. They were able to just slice and dice. The Death Prophet in particular is a hero that needs to survive as long as possible in the fight, and yet no, Cuckoo just slashes him down with his lightsaber. And now we have Resolution going in on Roshan. Double damage room, but no lifesteal. Makes this a bit risky, but they have the ability to tank it up.
Now, do TNC have the feeling that something could be happening? They're going to head over this direction, and if they smoke breaks as they're going by Roshan, oh, it's only down to half HP. TNC, they're going to find Thunderbirds. Resolution pops the chrono, connects onto 4. The Wukong's command comes out as well. Oh my god, the Boundless Strike is there. Tim's, just get the hell out. That was not the fight that they wanted in the very least, but trying to run away, trying to make the escape. Resolution is going to die to Cuckoo, so he ends up making something of that, and now Raven has showed up. All of the damage coming out. They do pop out the False Promise, which is going to keep alive for the moment Misery. But the game has not gone the way the TNC wanted to over those past couple of minutes, and they lose 4 for it.
You have to be so careful playing around this Chronosphere, and unfortunately Sand King doesn't blink past. It blinks pretty much right into it,
Cuckoo?
and they just had all the follow through. This lineup is designed to just obliterate through that Chrono, and I don't even know anymore. At this point, Cuckoo just walks into his own death, and we are looking at a very tilted TNC.
Oh wow, they were going for the gank. They wanted to move in and find somebody in the side jungle, and then it all went wrong. And then of course Cuckoo with that low respawn time, he's down to 6 Bloodstone charges. They just won a big fight on the bottom lane.
Yeah, but it all can fall apart with just one Chrono. These heroes are perfect for damaging inside the Chronosphere. The Oracle adds a bit of single target burst. The Monkey King and the Nature Prophet a little bit AoE across the board with their ultimates. And the Death Prophet, even without an ultimate, just a little bit of Crypt Storm action can really make the difference here. So that, on top of the fact that the only reason Reslo was there was because he had a DD rune, and you've got TNC just in a really rough spot. They didn't give up the Roshan, but they gave up just about everything else.
Well, the one other thing that you can say that's good for TNC here is that fight wasn't emblematic of how strong their team fight really is. If they are able to initiate the way that this lineup is supposed to, a Sand King, Epicenter, and Burrow Strike off the back of a blink, it still could be really great, but Thunderbirds certainly got a nice little boon there with the huge amount of gold into their coffers.
I'm not sure who you go on at that stage, though, because if the Death Prophet has her Yules and the Faceless Void has his linkage, they should have the ability to counteract a long-range initiation, and they just have to worry about the short-range ones.
All right, well, Silence, excuse me, was stolen by Rior, and now the Yule Scepter is there, and again, crumbling. TNC, Cuckoo is just a bit too far out. They're trying to find Moon Meander, but they're not going to connect with the Sun from Tim's, and so you lose 2 in the mid. They immediately go into Roshan, and any benefit that you got from that earlier is now gone for you for TNC. This is still looking like a pretty rough one.
extremely ugly at this point. They lost too much. Chronosphere is right back up. Aegis goes to Resolution, and it just feels like Thunderbirds are being allowed to play these fights exactly like they want to. It's just getting extremely ugly at this point. Like, Sam H needs to just pull a rabbit out of the hat with his next initiation. If they don't get a stun combo before like the next big fight comes out, and they don't get like a key pick off, then they're in some real trouble. I think they actually have to kill Soxa though. Like, he's the one who has the ability to shut down all of this magic damage that's coming out from TNC, along with just keep a hero alive in general. I just don't think they can allow him to live.
And normally this would be a game where you say, oh, there's the Naga Siren, they've got the late game. But how many times have we seen a 6 odds Naga Siren run out of capabilities to do things? And if you have your other core Cuckoo constantly getting taken down and chronoed and killed, well, this one's actually going to save his life.
Yeah, they got the Epicenter combo coming in after the Song of Siren. Going to be able to burrow onto 2. No, just the LSA on 1, but they're just choosing too many different targets. The Oracle will save the Nature's Prophet, and now they're not able to get much out of this.
All right, huge plays coming out from TNC. The song was the thing that set it all back up. Now the burst strike through. Sam H still going to die from this. So they salvage something, but Cuckoo still goes down, and now Tim's also going to be found. The first hit bash. Oh, Resolution hit his RNG pills today. Oh, God.
That's just so painful. Like, having a full song setup and then not being able to choose a good target. Like, the tanking's supposed to follow up, burrow onto 2 the exact same time as the song. If they practiced this is would have been really easy. Would have been able to get the stun onto 2 heroes, putting a lot of good damage into the void, at least popping his Lincolns, and then focusing on the southern target, which I believe was the Death Prophet. But they just kind of try to hit like 3 different targets at once. They bring the Nature's Prophet low, but he gets saved by the Oracle. It just was very scattered, and I feel like it shows that TNC have not been practicing very actively with this Naga Siren, and mostly just picked it as a counterpick.
Well, it's a tough one. I will say that I felt like the lineup from T-Birds was more like death ball oriented, but again, and this was the thing I was trying to allude to before that fight broke out, you have 5 Hands of Midases now on T-Birds. Like, Naga Siren alone is not going to be able to carry this game when you've got so much farm to the later stages. So I don't know what the answer is, but they've got to figure out something.
Start here. Cuckoo has just failed to impress in every single one of these fights, and now 574 KDA with everything resting on his shoulders. He's got to get it together.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's a hard game too because you're still so squishy, and every time, if you just get solo chrono, there's nothing he can do, and there aren't really defensive supports. And guess what? Rior can't really do anything either if he just gets chronoed. Resolution, Showen, Faceless Void still alive and well, and they're going to punish. The Lincoln Sphere comes out, silence as well. Nicely played there. They need the follow-up stun, though. Is Resolution just going to kill everybody with a little bit of help from his friends? They're chasing down Cuckoo now, again in trouble. Buyback from Rior. They need to make something happen here. Misery is going to end up falling to all these Naga Siren illusions. Tims gets the stun, Magnetize out there as well. The silence to follow it up. Still, Sam H can go back in for another round of this. He has the Epicenter available if he wants to go for it. Rezo staying alive, still very tanky in all of this one, but the Oracle has already gone down now as well, so the 2 important heroes are gone. Can they find anything else here? Sam H still in trouble. Silence to break this, but now they have that Epicenter, but no mana. He needs to get out. Do they take this fight? Resolution is almost dead, but no, the Boundless Strike to break it. That's just the Lincolns down, as well as the Aegis. Rezo is going to be back up, decides to get out of there, and with good choices as well. That's a very good decision.
Man, Soxa has been playing out of his mind in this Oracle. I mean, he's renowned since, of course, TI6 and for his defensive plays on heroes like Shadow Demon, Winter Wyvern, but here playing this Oracle, getting the most critical Fate's Edicts out on this Death Prophet, where she should be taking about like 700 magical damage. 1 second before that comes out this Fate's Edict and is healing him up, keeping him alive, doing a lot of work in these fights, which otherwise would have been tipping the momentum the other way. Like, if Soxa was just a second or 2 slower on a few of these key spells, then this would be a very different game. But no, he is on point. TNC, they're trying their best to get things back on rails, but that's a buyback on your support Rubik at like 23 minutes into the game. They really aren't where they want to be right now.
Wow. And there are ways to take these fights, and their team fight is very strong. but it needs to be properly executed. They might be able to kill off Resolution here with a really well-timed Invis rune, and that is so necessary. But that meantime, you also might end up running into an issue here in the mid. Okay, Misery going to get False Promise, staying alive. That's the cooldown forest. 60 seconds where maybe TNC can make something happen.
Yeah, this is where Cuckoo's build deviates a little bit from Weeha's. Weeha loves the Bloodstone BOT action, but he doesn't very commonly go for the Shadow Blade, where Cuckoo goes for it almost any chance he can get. So being able to stun Light Strike Array out of Invis sets him up for a very nice kill, focus down to tier 2, but action in the mid as a huge burst combo comes out as they're able to double up on the stuns.
Yeah, and Rior stealing the Time Walk here. It's a really great spell for the Rubik, getting into position when he might not otherwise be able to. By the way, up in the top lane, there's a little bit of an infestation of treants, as Sam H is going to be able to come and clear them out. But in the meantime, tier 2 tower going to go down. So TNC, after what was looking like the wheels coming off of their chances to go 2-0 at the start of this, they're pulling it back together and almost brought back towards even.
Yeah, right back on track here, going and making the most of that Shadow Blade right when it comes through, getting some good, very important Bloodstone charges, and immediately making rotations to make some other things happen. Now, we do see some things coming out here. They know about the Nature's Prophet, but Moon Meander playing it pretty safe under the tower.
And they might try and get a little bit of damage onto him and see if then afterwards Lina can find the pick-off. 12 seconds left on that cooldown, but yeah, Cuckoo, you need to play it safe here. And I think that this is, again, a lot of integrity shown by this guy. A lot of other players might not be able to, make the call to realize he was going pretty far out there.
I still think that although TNC definitely have their head back on their shoulders as far as what they want to do with this game, that it's by no means over. I mean, we still have a great potential for the Thunderbirds here to really execute in fights. I mean, the Monkey King, even rapidly approaching a Basher, will be able to bring a lot to these extended conflicts, and it just continues to be on Saksa to stay back, not get initiated on, and keep his cores alive.
Well, do have now Raven and Tim's. They're heading out. We're going to try and push all the lanes simultaneously and then wait for a pick-off play with the Lina, although, again, the trees providing very good vision, and I'm assuming that these are going to go there to cut the waves. Response to the Naga Siren pressure. Be careful, there is going to be a jump in towards mid. That was not the epicenter used, but the silence onto Weeha, bringing him low. Fate's Edict, keeping him alive.
But
now,
Cuckoo just pokes down in top tier 2. No problem at all. It's just breaking things down with the siege. All of these talents really allowing him to just demolish these towers, and is feeling confident, very mobile with the Shadow Blade of Link.
And they don't really feel like they're that worried about anybody catching them either, because you have a ton of mobility on all of these heroes, particularly like Rubik had that Time Walk earlier, Blink Force there for Sam H, Air Spirit and all of his kit naturally just brings that mobility to hero, and now you go for a Blink Dagger on Lina as well. It's all about finding picks.
Yeah, it's all about, and they do need to keep finding picks. So they need this next Roshan, they need to break the high ground, and that's something that Naga Siren isn't really well known for. Great for defending high ground, but the offensive component is a bit lacking. So they really need Lina, honestly, on the front line doing this, and it just becomes difficult from there. How do you space yourself against this Chronosphere and make that siege happen? The Aegis will certainly help, but I do feel that as time goes by, Thunderbirds are going to have a lot going for them, not just that the hero picks with TNC have some great scaling too, but look at the inventories, man. 5 Hands of Midas. 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And guess what? You ain't got one on TNC. They are not about that life. That being said, Monkey King, Misery, going to go down. They get the Eul Scepter lift up. There is going to be a Chronosphere there for Resolution. He checked to make sure that there was nobody in the area, but they do not actually end up going for it. They leave him alone, and now TNC going for the reinitiation. They find the Chronosphere not quite on mark. The blink away. Great play by Cuckoo. Was having a rough one before, but now making the plays they need to. Is he going to go down here? You do have a Sam H. Well, 4-staff combination. This is going to be an epicenter, I do believe, or maybe just the Burrow Strike looking for it. Another blink away by Cuckoo, keeping himself survivable. Moonmeander trying to take down Raven, and it looks like they might just be able to make it happen. Raven going to fall. They decide they don't want to take the fight. And now TNC end up losing their Naga Siren.
Yeah, really rough spot for them, as they're not even able to bring up the Oracle on the sidelines, and now it's going to be Sam H dropping down. Double kill for Weeha, and things are just turning about. Big pickup of Weeha just a moment before. was this BKB. Combining it with like Yules, you're able to survive for so very long, and you're just able to do so much in these fights. So TNC now finding themselves in a really rough spot. I mean, I hate to say it totally so, but it's just TNC do not have this guaranteed in the bag when you're up against all this farm acceleration. There's really great wave clear from Weehaw. There's great rat potential from Moon Meander. The 5 Midases kicking in, and now it seems like they're approaching critical mass. They'll get Aegis. They'll have these major defensive items to survive the initial burst of TNC, and where do you go from there?
Yeah, it's tough. It's really a problem because this is something we mentioned. The 6-slotted Naga Siren. What's it going to do for you at the point when everybody else has a 6-slot on T-Birds? You can't win it alone with her. So, Blink Dagger also was there for Weehaw, able to get that chase going. There's lanes that are going to be pushed out. We'll have to wait and see if maybe more of these picks can come by virtue of Cuckoo's Shadowblade.
It's going to be moving in towards the Lincoln Sphere as well, so this will create some opportunities, but for the most part, it's still going to be them having to play around Chronosphere. The Cuckoo Blink out of Chrono was probably the best play that I've seen this game, but it's just, obviously, it doesn't seem to be enough right now. They do, however, find the Death Prophet down bottom, just having 3 heroes in the right place at the right time. Nice Blink Burrow to start things off, and they do find that kill.
Ooh, Rior able to get the time walk away. Force Sap out as well. Are they fighting into a fight they don't want to take? Tims gets the Burrow Strike. There's the Epi onto 3. Magnetizes down as well. Fate's Edict going to keep alive that Monkey King a little bit longer. Sam H gets caught in the Chronosphere, but in the meantime, they're going to end up losing Tims as well. So several heroes going down for the side of TNC. They lose 3 altogether. While that's happening, you lose the tier 3 tower in the bottom lane. You're also taking some damage up top because of the Lina. It's kind of still working out for TNC in spite of the losses.
It definitely is. Like, the problem is that these melee Rex will regen. If he had gone for the range, maybe he could have gotten something more. Oh no, look at the falls on the Fate Edict, and he has to suicide out.
So he blinked forward to try and go for the Oracle, and Misery messed him up by hitting him with the Boundless Strike, and then obviously we saw the Fate's Edict interaction.
So close to a very important kill, but in the end, no. They poke and prod at this barracks. They actually, I'm for some reason flipping them. They did get the range barracks. That's good because it won't regenerate, and they need to keep doing these split plays. Like, Cuckoo did a lot of really good split plays about 10 minutes ago on the tier 2s, bottom and top, and now that opened up Raven to do much of the same. He's got a really good inventory for just kind of continuing to spread the map, continuing to fill it up with these illusions, push out lanes, and in this case, it made it all the way to the racks. So, yeah, got to keep doing that. Need to break that range racks pretty soon.
And the other thing there too is it's the combination, because if they had just gone for the bottom with the Naga Siren, then you probably don't end up dealing that much damage. Nature's Prophet had to rotate to deal with the Lina. It's more about the fact that you have both of them working in concert, and Lina's been able to step up the farm game a lot more over the past couple of minutes, now finishing off that Lincoln Sphere and the Boots of Travel, so you can see it's 2 forms of split push. And there's Moon Meander caught out along the top. There's the net, the Epi, everything dropped down, and Moon Meander is gone.
Yeah, so that is the drawback of trying to split your way out like this. Death Prophet caught bottom, now Furion caught top, and let's see if TNC can make anything of this. I mean, they've got themselves enforced the Song of the Siren. They are still, or the Aegis is no longer in place, so that's good.
They're catching on to Cuckoo here. The Boundless Strike connects, but again, top lane is where the Naga Siren is going in for it. So Cuckoo going to drop, but so too will at least the very glyph of the Thunderbirds. I think that they might actually get a little bit more than this. They're going to get the tier 3 tower.
Yeah, it's taken a really long time for Thunderbirds to respond to this, and it's going to be a Raven just popping his way out of there, going for the song and saying see you later.
Oh, so close, yet so far.
Yeah.
And
if there was a BKB from Weehaw, if he was able to BKB Blinken, then he could have Yulesed her, but he wanted to save. It's like a 9-second charge, yeah. So he just decided that he'd take the risk, try to just get the quick Yules and follow up, but it doesn't work out that way. So in the end, it's going to be Naga Siren slipping away, Raven finding his way to ride it through, now exposing top and bottom.
And I think that it's pretty easy to just say, like, the Lina's sort of been feeding or something, dying a lot in lane, but look at what she's been able to accomplish by those deaths. It's Naga Siren taking down the barracks. And in the meantime, you do see that Resolution is going to be able to find Tims, and most likely going to be the death of him. Yeah, now they also break down Rior on the chest. They jump forward, trying to take down Moon Meander. Raven is here as well, dealing a good bit of damage. Sam H gets the Eul's Scepter lift up, and maybe again another TP, but Raven TP'd out first. Sam H is going to barely make it out. Oh, that was close.
Yep. He actually, he time dilated, removed the time dilation with Eul's, then ends up extending the TP a little bit, but it works out in the end. So at this point, it's been a lot of space creation. We see still Cuckoo actually topping net worth in spite of the deaths. So you can't just look at the 9 deaths. You have to look at the fact that he has been able to get a lot of the more important kills most recently. And he still has a decent CS pool to work with here. 321 is second place only to Raven. So he's been able to do a lot effectively. It's just obviously the deaths stand out. Now we see him actually up top here, Shadow Blading, looking for an opportunity. The Geometry Sight almost enabling him to pick up on him, but the Lincolns will rock the Eul.
And meanwhile, back here towards mid, the Oracle is going to drop yet again, and the TNC engine is going in full effect. Towers about to drop on down. We have Raven, who's still only level 21. You compare that to the Linas, who's been able to get to level 24 now. This is feeling like it's potentially the game in the bag. T-Bird's not a great answer at this point in time.
Yep, continuous pressure, always focusing the range racks. It's going to be 115 HP left on the bottom, and they're still putting some chip into the top. It's going to be pretty difficult for Sam H going up against Moon. Does not have any form of detection, though. But all the same, I got to say, like, they are doing everything they can to keep things pressured on the Radiant side. They are trying to do as much chip as they can. It's not going to, at this point, decide the game, but if they can just get a little bit more, every little bit helps. And eventually, suddenly, you have this snowball of creep momentum that only a hero like Nature's Prophet can really actively deal with. So, yeah, it's a Mjolnir Nature's Prophet. He's in a good spot right now, but if you pick him off and you have all these creeps wailing away, all these illusions in the base, TNC can definitely break through this.
Yeah, and it's not only, I mean, you can see also that Resolution is trying his best to find pickoffs around the map, Shadowbladed and running through the enemy jungle, but he's not finding them. And likewise, you have an Nature's Prophet that's built for those pickoffs. You said Mjolnir also has the sheep stick done, can take care of illusions, sort of.
Yeah, you can just use it to hex the illusions in the worst case, but in the best case, obviously, you're finding just a free hero kill with it. Now, yeah, it's going to be actually very scary to go up against that. It used, like, back, I don't know, 2012, just getting the Scythe of Vice as fast as possible is the name of the game for Nature's Prophet. Because what you do is, be up against like an anti-mage, you teleport right on top of him, or right behind him, and shift Q the Scythe. The game has evolved a lot since then, but the global potential of a disable like Scythe of Vice is still very, very relevant.
And yeah, again, you got to give the credit to Cuckoo here as well as to Raven. Both of these players, I think particularly Cuckoo, stepped up his game a lot since those early points where there was just a couple of deaths, the re-goose again into the mid lane, and since then it's been immaculate. By and large, the Monkey King does head by the Boundless Strike. They have the gem on him. Need to be careful. Resolution does also have the Chronosphere. Looking and catches it onto 2, but the BKB comes out from Cuckoo. Can they stay alive long enough? The sun comes out. They do have the sleep still if they want to use it. Looking to fight this. Cuckoo's down, dead for 90. Commentator's curse if I ever heard it, as Raven takes down 1 and just going to go for the sleep away, trying to get back out. But they are in a pretty bad spot, though. Epicenter, is it going to go through? He just barely misses onto the stun with the Moon Meander catch, and there's going to be the Sheep Stick that comes out as well. The Death Prophet healing up through this. Maybe going to be enough. Tim's trying to roll out as well, but Weehaw is going to die. Thought maybe with that Fate Edict it could have been enough, but Sam H, he's found that Oracle as well. 3 go down for the Thunderbirds, and Raven stands tall.
Yeah, the Burrow Strike was, or the follow-up from the song from Sam H still not optimal, but like it's still enough. Like they're getting the kills that they need. They get a little bit of a heal boost from the Bloodstone when Lina drops, and they just kind of push on that. They're able to get like the song ended up like, yeah, it looked like they almost got away from it, but in the end it meant that when the song caught them, they were all clumped up in like all 4 heroes in a tiny space. And while we don't get to see the magic of the Sand King in that situation, it was the Earth Spirit who did a lot of work.
And Resolution almost getting caught there, and Moon Meander doing the best things that he can right now, just split pushing as much as possible. There is going to be a rotation in right now. It did look like he spotted that as well, as Rior was just within vision. So the Nature's Prophet will again escape, dealing whatever damage he can to the towers.
Yeah. And you realize you see the inventories for Thunderbirds, and you realize that they are very aware of the issue with the split push and how much damage they need just to clear out waves and to AoE things down. They're going for a triple Mjolnir setup, already having the Maelstrom on the Monkey King and Void, as opposed to Mjolnir on the Moon Meander. But yeah, they just don't want to have to deal with their barracks constantly in siege.
TNC, a team that probably not too many people, if people were thinking about like the Southeast Asian region, some that weren't super familiar might have just thought about Faceless, but this, throughout the past couple of months, has looked like the best team out of C. They're on the verge of going on 2-0 in the Swiss format of the Kiev Major group stages.
And it's not been without its shaky bits. I mean, we got to see, like, in the Summit SEA qualifiers, they actually got dropped down by, like, WG Unity as well as Happy Feet. But, like, you talked about, they show up on international land. When they have no ping to worry about and they have everything to prove, like, these guys really showcase what they're capable of, and we're seeing it here. The Aegis and Cheese now picked up, well, one to Lena, one to Sand King, but yeah, taking the third Roche and now looking to try to close this one out as best they can.
Well, Naga Siren, very much the hero to deal with right now, and 6,500 gold in the bank. They don't have the Courier any longer. It's going to be back up again in 35 seconds. But it might be time to think about trying to continue these rat-tastic plays. I mean, it's just rinse and repeat at this stage, right? There's nothing you really need to do as far as changing up your style of play.
I mean, at some point you have to win a fight, I think. Like, the Butterfly gives you a lot of really good damage on the Naga Siren, but I feel like just ratting it out, these Mjolnirs are going to be able to just demolish waves, demolish illusions. Like, it's not, you can't just bank on that to carry you the rest of the game. You do have to take a fight at some point. They have the Aegis, they have the Cheese. I think this is probably the best timing interval. Maybe they need a pick off before they want to go for it. We're going to see a Chronosphere instead up top.
Yeah, Fuel Scepter is there, but guess what? So too is a Sheepstick, and Sam H going to be caught out because of this one. While this is happening, illusions are being spammed at the base. Raven is there to make it happen. They actually even leave the gem on the ground for the moment. Don't know if the Monkey King is going to go pick that one up. It looks like it's just going to be left, so a little bit of littering going on. Well, the range barracks goes down, and a good bit dealt onto the other ones.
Yeah, and this keeps Thunderbirds from doing anything with those two kills. Like, they want to be breaking the Dire base right now, but the rat keeps them back, and just the fact that they set the groundwork piece by piece, chip by chip, breaking these range wrecks down so low. It's now 3 lanes that are very vulnerable. I mean, all of the top and the mid range wrecks could drop with any more rat, and then obviously we just saw the bottom one drop there. He's able to spawn so many illusions that even with all these Mjolnirs, they're currently still not able to deal with it. So I'm really not sure. I do feel like they essentially have to fight.
Oh, Rior! I don't know if that was reactions or what exactly that was. But he responded beautifully and able to get away from the gank from the Faceless Void and the Nature's Prophet.
Nice. But yeah, actually going to come up top here. They're going to see BKB Lena trying to get out of here. No Shadow Blade it's in her backpack. She'll drop the Laguna, but she'll lose the Aegis.
All right, Moon Meander now going to get stunned up. You have Weeha in the area, goes for the silence. The BKB's been popping in, but Moon Meander already down. Fatedic not able to keep him alive. Sam H pops the Ghost Scepter, is still going to die there as they get the Purifying Flames off to find the kill. They buy back on the Sand King. He's going to end up TPing Boots back into this engagement. Weeha gets stunned for the moment. There's a lot of heal spells coming out, but it's not going to be enough, I don't believe, as Weeha is getting ran down consistently. Trying to blink out in a way isn't going to happen, and now the Oracle as well is going to go down. That's 100 seconds with no DP, and TNC, with a little bit of help from the whole team, might have finally done it. Raven dismantling the base, and them on the verge of a 2-0 win in these group stages, unless they get some type of a miracle. Chronosphere connects onto 2.
But
Tim's taking a lot of damage.
There's no follow-up. The Chrono's stolen.
Oh my god, Rubik takes it, gonna throw it back the other direction in just a little bit, I'm sure. He doesn't really do much to Resolution. Cuckoo Force Staff twice away. Oh, Resolution can't keep up, and Raven keeps on hitting the barracks. That is mega creeps. And just as soon as they take this last one down, couple of bashes there, they drop the Chronosphere onto Misery. He's now in trouble. Sandstorm trying to kill him off. Do dodge that Light Strike Array again. But how do you do this without the damage from that DP ulti?
I don't know, man. I mean, right now they've lost all their racks except for one up top. It's not Mega Creeps just yet, but it's about to be, as we see Raven go for the gold and finish it off. Now the pace is slowly dropping down. Buybacks instantly, but he's the last one with buyback, and they just call it. TNC,
GG.
they just needed to win one fight to break it all down. They set themselves up like it was so easy to break the base once there was nobody left defending it. And it just came down to that Aegis. That Aegis become the perfect bait for a great set of plays for TNC. And they tried throughout all this whole one, and it looked like there were points where